Hi, I'm Kate Biggs, your instructor for the oh-so-festive, engaging, and wildly popular GCC class on global poverty. I welcome you today to my very least favorite part of this otherwise fantastic course, the dreaded taping of the homemade intro video, where I must stare at myself while talking to myself and listening to the sound of my own voice on camera. A YouTube star and selfie taker I am not, so bear with me on this. Being a teacher like you, I draw energy and inspiration from interacting with actual people instead of my screen. So I'm thrilled that the class is starting and you guys are out there now. I truly look forward to meeting you. I know global poverty is a beast of a topic for only 8 weeks. We won't be able to do everything we want to do, but my mantra is that we will take it on with enthusiasm and with humility, knowing our limitations and recognizing there is always more to be learned. You can see my background and bio on the site under my instructor tab, but I'll tell you a little bit about what brings me here. I've spent much of the last 12 years writing and thinking about inequality in the world, especially about life at the very bottom of the economic ladder, trying to get my arms around why, in the 21st century, over 1 billion people still lead lives of extreme poverty. Why have so many people been left out of the tremendous progress and upward trajectory that has marked the last century? What can be done to address this profound gap? And what does the existence of extreme poverty mean for individuals, communities, countries, and the world at large? How is economic inequality connected to other pressing global issues? The connections are profound and very real and present, as we are reminded daily in the news, when we consider how poverty and economic marginalization are related to conflict, radicalism, chaotic human migration, disease, just to mention a few of the headlines today. Under almost any troubling phenomenon in the world today, you can find an antecedent in economic inequality. How do the cycles which perpetuate inequality work, and why are they so intractable? What can be done to chip away at current paradigms of privilege, advantage, and disadvantage, or at least make life more livable for the world's poor until we can move the ball? How are good intentions translated into good ideas and then into good social policy? And how can we know what works, what doesn't work, and what actually does harm? Not only have I been a huge nerd about this subject, reading and learning from the many talented people and organizations working on these vexing issues, but I've also had the opportunity to engage more deeply by seeing and listening to what all this looks like on the ground in places like Rwanda, Ghana, and Liberia. I've gotten to experience on numerous trips what is going on in villages and towns in Africa as amazing organizations and people partner with poor communities to address the many circumstances and vulnerabilities that both put and keep them in the kind of poverty most of us have trouble imagining. We'll talk more about this throughout the class, and I look forward to sharing some of my experiences with you. This particular class grew out of the work I was doing as a consultant to a group of teachers who were crafting a global citizenship unit for their students. The unit featured a service component where students would raise money and take on a microfinance project in another country through the website Kiva. The students were to learn about and fund a person in an extremely poor country who was trying to start a small business venture. The teachers laid out the unit for me and asked, "Have we forgotten anything?" "Well," I said, "have you taught the kids why these people are poor in the first place? And what factors beyond their control conspire to keep them in poverty? Do the kids understand how being poor in a poor country is different from being poor in a rich country?" The teachers were thrilled to consider these essential questions, but were themselves unsure of the answers, and they lacked comfort with the topic. Then the P's of Poverty framework was born, as I developed a curriculum to teach a condensed version of what we're going to do in this class. Now, there's a plethora of information about this class all over the Canvas course site, about the material and the objectives and the expectations for the class, so I won't repeat it all here. But I will tell you that my overall goal is for you to come away from our 8 weeks together being able to talk with confidence and consume media stories and engage in debates about the different players and dynamics involved in global poverty and poverty mitigation efforts. I have found this topic really resonates with students of all ages. It appeals to their sense of equity and justice, and some of the ideas and insights here can further awaken them to the world beyond their borders, and perhaps even beyond the borders of the assumptions and sensibilities they inhabit in daily life. It is my job to make you comfortable with all the layers of what we'll be talking about, and to arm you with what you need to engage your students in learning about this important topic within your existing curriculum, no matter which subject you teach. There are exciting gateways and angles all over the place, connections to academic subjects and service learning, and hardly a topic that you teach that does not have a reference to global inequality somewhere. Some of the things I hope you will bring to this class: curiosity, an open mind, an appetite for some deep thinking, and a tolerance for messiness. Messiness in the sense of ambiguity and things that we cannot ultimately know for sure. We will all have to be okay with the fact that the more you know about this complex topic, the more confused you may be. That's good. That's why we're here. And that's what will allow you to steward your students through important explorations of their own. We have had such successful runnings of this class in previous semesters. I have been astounded and humbled and inspired and moved by the depth and breadth of experience and insights that GCC students bring to this, our virtual classroom. The learning goes both ways. How wonderful it is to teach teachers. I look forward to learning from you in the next 8 weeks. And I want to assure you that we really are all in this together. From tackling the technology involved, to balancing workloads, to stretching ourselves in reflections and discussions. And in extending our comfort levels with, say, seeing ourselves on camera and getting used to the sound of our own voices over computers. I have tremendous respect for you, many of you jumping in here while you're teaching full loads and juggling all kinds of responsibilities. To that end, I have tried to make the workload predictable on a weekly basis and to give you everything you need to work ahead if you need. You will almost always have a weekend to complete assignments, and I'll alert you when something big is coming down the pike so you can budget your time and stay caught up. The most important thing, do not worry alone. Please, please, please let me know how things are going, and if you're falling behind, we can figure out something sooner rather than later. Truly, do not suffer in silence should suffering come upon you. I'm only a few clicks or an email away, and I want everyone here to succeed. It is all doable. So prowl around the Canvas site for much more information and all kinds of nuts and bolts, including how to contact me and how to contact tech support. You will note that those are not the same thing. Then go ahead and open up the first unit and get started. I typically start each unit with a taped lecture with a voiceover slides, another heinous endeavor of talking to myself, and then trying to get PowerPoint to talk to Keynote, coaxing Keynote to talk to QuickTime, literally begging QuickTime to upload to YouTube, and then practically offering up my children as human sacrifices if only YouTube will sync up with Canvas. So God willing, the video actually works. You will hear from me again soon in an introduction to the course, and you'll do some really interesting reading. You'll also introduce yourself and meet your classmates. Then we will meet in person later in our first synchronous session. So welcome. We have a great group. We have people from 10 different states teaching all kinds of subjects and all kinds of levels. And this is a really cool year to be teaching this class. We will run this class right up until Election Day in the U.S. And certainly these issues are on everyone's minds. So I look forward to many a vibrant conversation. Thank you.